everyone, and welcome to this week's story. So this week we're reading a story which links to independence and resilience, which are the values that we're looking at this week. As you know, if you've seen the assembly, I talked about how it's really important that when things are hard, you keep going and that you find the resilience within yourself. And in the assembly, we talked about the learning pit and about how sometimes you have to struggle in order to achieve something. Now, Malala Yousafzai, who is a girl from Pakistan, who is about 18 now, I believe. I'll have to check that and get back to you, but I think she's 18. She made a huge difference to the world and continues to do so, just to fight for the rights of women in Pakistan and all around the world. And she's had to struggle. So she's somebody who I think of, when I think of resilience, I think of Malala. So I think I'd love to share a story with you this week so you can see what resilience looks like in the real world from someone who actually isn't much older than you at all. And this book was written by her to describe her story. So this story really happened to her in her life. It's written by her for you, for children. So, Malala's magic pencil. Do you believe in magic? See all those beautiful henna patterns coming out from behind her. Beautiful. When I was younger, I used to watch a TV show about a boy who had a magic pencil. If he was hungry, he drew a bowl of curry and it appeared. If he and his friends were in danger, he drew a police officer. The boy was a little hero, always protecting people who needed help. How I wanted a magic pencil too. If I had a magic pencil, I would use it to put a lock on my door so my brothers couldn't bother me. Stop time so I could sleep an extra hour every morning. Erase the smell of the rubbish dump near our house. They're all really good uses for a magic pencil, aren't they? And I would use it to make other people happy. I would draw the most beautiful dresses in the world for my mother, the best buildings in the valley for my father, so he could open many schools where children would study for free. A proper ball so my brothers and I no longer had to play with an old sock stuffed with rubbish. So already the seeds are there for Malala, for making a difference, showing kindness, using this pencil for herself, but also for other people. Every night before I went to bed, I wished for a magic pencil of my own. And every morning I would wake up and check my cupboard, but the magic pencil was never there. One day I was throwing away potato peelings and eggshells at the dump. I was wrinkling my nose, swatting away flies and making sure I didn't step on anything dirty in my nice shoes when I saw a girl about my age sorting rubbish into piles. Nearby, boys were fishing for metal scraps using magnets on strings. When my father returned home from work, I told him what I'd seen. It made him sad. "Abba," I said. "Yes, Johnny," he said back. I always liked it when he called me dear one. "Why haven't I seen that girl in my class?" "Because," he said, but he didn't finish right away. "Because, Johnny, in our country not everyone sends their daughters to school. And some children must work to support their family. Those boys will sell the metal scraps they find, and if they went to school, their families would go hungry." School was my favourite place, but I had never considered myself lucky to be able to go. My father had always said Malala will live free as a bird. Now I wondered how free I'd truly be. That night I thought about families who didn't have enough food, and the girl who couldn't go to school, and even about how, when I was older, I would be expected to cook and clean for my brothers, because where I came from, many girls weren't allowed to become what they dreamed of. I knew then that if I had the magic pencil, I would use it to draw a better world, a peaceful world. First, I would erase war, poverty and hunger, and then I would draw girls and boys together as equals. Over the next few years, instead of wishing for a magic pencil every night, I worked hard in school every day. I wanted to be one of the top students in my class. But soon, powerful and dangerous men declared that girls were forbidden from attending school. They walked the streets of our city now, and they carried weapons. One by one, girls stopped coming to school. Abba, where are all the students? They don't feel safe here anymore, Johnny. How could a few men stop all the girls in our valley from going to school? If more people knew what was happening to us, I thought they might help. Wishing wasn't enough. Someone needed to speak out. Why not me? I wrote about what it felt like to be scared to walk to school and how some of my friends had moved away because of the threat they faced in our city. I wrote about how much I loved school and how proud I was of my uniform. Once I started writing, I didn't stop. I wrote speeches and I travelled around my country sharing my story. I even talked to a reporter from a famous international newspaper. People actually wanted to learn about my life. I spoke for all the girls in my valley who couldn't speak for themselves. My voice became so powerful that dangerous men tried to silence me, but they failed. And now my voice is louder than ever. Louder because people have joined me, and together we make a chorus, standing up for what we believe. We raise our voices for those in need, help people in danger, even if they are an ocean away, and we think of the world as a family. Do you believe in magic? I do. I wrote alone in my room, but people all over the world were reading my story. Millions now know it and help me spread my message of hope. I had at last found the magic I was looking for in my words and in my work. I am Malala. I've always wished I could make the world a more peaceful place, and every day I work to make my wish come true. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. So, what happened to Malala was obviously very different to the kinds of things that happened to us in this country. She was living in Pakistan in a very difficult time in its history when lots and lots of fighting was going on, and she had to be resilient to cope with what was happening in her country. But resilience is necessary in everything that we do, especially in our learning. So this week, I want you to see, well, one thing you could do actually is find out a bit about Malala, because she's still very active in the world and she's still using that resilience. So that would be a really good thing to do. But secondly, to start having a look at how resilient you are. Can you apply some resilience this week in your learning when you're doing it at home or if you're in school? And I'd love to find out more about it. So let me know if you've been independent or resilient. So let's celebrate it together. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week for Respect.